How's it going, everybody? Back at you with another one. Today, I was just kind of thinking. Well, for one, it's been a couple days since I uploaded. It's been about like 5 days, I think, but that's all right. I've been playing a lot of Tarkov, a lot of DayZ. I was streaming. I had a couple other things I had going on too. But I was talking with my buddy, and like I was thinking to myself, like whenever you create something, like be it like I'm not an artist, I can't draw. I wish I could. But like the dopamine hit when you put something that you think about to paper has got to be like immense. I feel like it's the same thing with musicians too. Like whenever you put a song together, like even if the song's trash, I feel like the fact that you put a song together is still like that's got to be like a really good dopamine hit in my opinion. But no, I was telling them how like people who create stuff just have like an infinite dopamine glitch. Like I get it to like an extent. Like when I put these videos together, like they may not be like spectacular videos, but like the fact that I even put it together, taught myself how to use DaVinci Resolve. I mean, I don't know, dude. I'm happy about it. Like, I mean, that's kind of how I felt like when I started learning guitar. Like, whenever I would try to practice a song and it would start to like sound good, like the moment it started to sound good, I was like, oh wait, it's starting to come together now. So like, I kind of get it to an extent. I've never written a song or like drew a masterpiece or anything like that, but like, if I could, boy, like I got a cousin who's like really really good at drawing, or at least in my opinion he's good at drawing. I'm sure if you were to ask him he'd say he sucks. I feel like that's the case with most people when you ask them about stuff that they create. You're like, hey, or you think it's great, but then they tell you that it's shitty. Which, I mean, I don't know, that probably just speaks volumes to like their own work. I mean, like whenever you create something you always have high expectations of it, I feel like. I was also like thinking like, you ever like just think of stuff like on a psychology level? Like I'm not like a psychologist. I've never been to school for psychology. I just think human nature is incredibly interesting. Like the reason why people do certain things or the reason why people feel a certain way. I mean, like, if you're late to work, and you're mad because there's a lot of red lights or something. Is it really the red lights, or is it like your fault because you didn't like give yourself enough time to get ready for work? I mean, like the psychology of like, I guess that's not really like maybe the psychology of it. That's just like um, events leading up to, but like it's just I don't know, like maybe like when somebody like disagrees with you for something, I feel like sometimes I don't know. There's a psych level behind everything that we do. Obviously, I mean, humans are like incredibly complex creatures. So like the reasons why we do certain things or feel certain ways can't always be explained. But I think sometimes like uh, it can't be explained, but it can at least be like rationalized by like you know on some psychological level. I feel like I don't know. That's probably like just a me thing. Like I feel like when certain things happen, I like sit and overanalyze the situation a lot, which kind of leads me like to my next topic a little bit. I feel like you ever think like really what's the difference between you or me or like some celebrity. I mean, obviously, barring celebrities that have actual talents or tangible talents. Like, obviously, the difference between me and Eddie Vedder from Pearl Jam is that he's more talented than I am. But really, like, what is talent? I mean, Eddie Vedder's a horrible example because Pearl Jam's like a very classic rock band. So like he's like a rock star. So you talk to people about Eddie Vedder, or like people rock fans about it, then yeah, they're gonna like look at him like he's way better than the average human. So horrible example. But what I'm trying to get at is like celebrities who have tangible like skills and whatnot. Like obviously, there's a difference between me and them. Like Adele can fucking sing. I cannot. But when we get on the subject of like talent, like really, again, what is talent? I'm not talented because I taught myself guitar. I was only able to teach myself guitar because I really, really liked Bob Dylan and I really, really wanted to play his songs. Were it not for that infatuation with that artist, I don't think I would have learned a guitar. So like, you know, what separates people who have quote unquote talent, um, and people who pick things up. Um, I feel like maybe, how do I put it? There's like a sliding scale. Obviously people who are talented, like they're gonna be able to learn the skill in a faster amount of time. But like then that's whenever you split hairs between, okay, is it talent or is it affinity? You have an affinity for this instrument or this skill or this sport or whatever. But a lot of anybody can get to a certain level with the right amount of dedication and time. But I guess talent is like what separates people in different niches. Like somebody is able to acquire or gain a skill quicker than another person because maybe they're more talented in that skill or have an affinity for it or something of that nature. And again, like I feel like that could even just be dissected into like a psychological thing. Like, why do they have that talent? What in their childhood made this person better at singing or whatever? Or like it's I feel like it's all really interesting whenever you start dissecting shit like that. But in that same vein of like learning new things and like getting stuff done, I always try to like even tell my kid that like things really are not as hard as you make them out to be in your head. Like when I was trying to decide on how to become a firefighter, I did not know like the first step to take. Like, how does one become a firefighter? Do you just go down to the fire station and apply? I mean, yeah, that's how it worked like 45 years ago. It doesn't work like that anymore. You have to like take classes and then you have to get lucky and get hired on somewhere. But I couldn't tell you how to get your paramedic license or that EMT was a prerequisite for paramedic or the steps that you need to take in order to get your RN or what's the difference between an RN and a nurse practitioner and it's there's a lot of different facets. But like I have worked with some nurses, cops, all of them. And I don't like to call people dumb. It's just not a word that I like to have in my vocabulary because like when I was growing up, I never liked to be called dumb. So like I don't call people dumb. For one, I feel like people aren't dumb. They're just inexperienced or ignorant to whatever they're doing. Young people especially. Everybody loves to say young people are dumb. Young people aren't dumb. They're just incredibly ignorant. What is ignorance? Ignorance is inexperience. So like, when I have a coworker say that our other coworker who's 19 is a fucking retard, I'm like, well, come on. They're 19. But what I was about to say a couple sentences ago was that like I've worked with some of the dumbest cops, the dumbest nurses. Never met a dumb doctor, but I mean, no, I'm just playing. I have met one doctor where I'm like, bro, what? But anyway, it's just like I've worked with some incompetent people, and they got into a position for whatever reason or however they were able to do it. Maybe they're good test takers, they're just bad in practice. But what I had started to say earlier is like really what's the difference between you and like that person you want to be or whatever. I feel like I don't necessarily have idols. I do sort of look up to Bob Dylan. Not in the sense that I want to be like Bob Dylan, just like, hey, I want to play the guitar like Bob Dylan, like I want to be able to play songs. But like when I think back to when like I was down worse than what I am now, and like what I have now and what I didn't have then, I could never like see myself as like sober, having my own house, making a YouTube video. I could have never really imagined that for myself back in like 2022, for example. Like I started making YouTube videos in like the spring of 2025, I think. And like it was something that I had always wanted to do for like an extremely long time. And I see other people make videos, and like I said in the previous video, I look at that and I'm like, I could definitely do that. I could talk about that. I've had the life experience, etc., etc. But if you were to ask drunk me in 2021 or 2022, like, would I have my own home or would I be making YouTube videos? I would tell you, I don't know what I would tell you. I was probably drunk. I wouldn't be able to tell you anything. But it's not like this me is any more different than like drunk me. Like the only difference is that I'm not craving alcohol all the time. I mean, that's not like the same example as what I was trying to present earlier with like what is the difference between you and like a celebrity or something like that. Because like you think it what I'm trying to get at is like you look at some of these celebrities and you're like, God, they're dumb as fuck. Like how is it that they're able to be in that position and I'm not? I mean, a lot of it has to come down, or a lot of it comes down to like looks. Attractive people I feel like are always going to be on social media, but that, slides right back into psychology though. I mean, like, these people are like nice to look at, so like it makes, you know, them easier to be presented on social media. Or I mean, TV in general. Like you see shit like, what was that? Oh, Rob Deerdeck, the ridiculousness or whatever. It was just like a recycled version of whatever show that was that there was another show that it directly pretty much copied off of, and even then all they did was just recycle internet videos, so like it wasn't anything even new or special anyway. Anybody, a monkey, could have done that job, you know what I mean? Yeah, and I don't know why, but like that fact just like drives me up a fucking wall, because it's like, yeah, I'm the lazy one, because I can't get a fucking cush job recycling internet videos that I probably don't even credit the creators on. And it's like, I'm not talking shit on Rob Deerdeck. It's just like the system of like how things work. Anyway, I'm hoping to do a little bit more fishing this summer. Last summer I said that and didn't fish not one time. I feel like that was like maybe a source of my late 20s angst. Because I don't know, a lot of times like when I go fishing, it's a lot of people I feel like will tell you that it's kind of like a time for you to be alone and think about things and stuff of that nature. That I certainly that's what I use the time for, because I'm certainly not catching any fish. But no, sometimes I'll catch fish. I would say it's about maybe 40% chance of me catching. I was about to say eating that night, but catching a fish. So it gives me ample time to, sit and be with my thoughts. I heard a quote, and it's like, it goes a little something like, a man can go his entire life fishing and not understand that it's not the fish that he's after. It doesn't flow exactly like that, but it's like pretty much that's about how the quote goes. The last thing I kind of want to touch on, that another coworker of mine had brought up to me one time, and it's just like how much repetition means. He's a Marine vet. I think he was in for like 8 years. Could be less. I'm not really too sure. I think 1 year is a lot of hard work, so regardless. But anyway, if anybody knows anything about repetition, it's that guy. Another thing that was on my mind was just how repetition is like super important to like doing anything as proficient as possible. I guess is like a good way to put it. How do I dissect that? Well, like I just think it's incredibly interesting how much you can build upon knowledge on a particular skill or subject that you like or something. For me, I was talking about this with my buddy. He's a Marine vet, and I can't remember if he had been in for like 4 or 8 years. I mean, it really doesn't matter. 1 year is a lot of work, so regardless, he was in there. But like, if anybody knows anything about repetition, it's that guy. But like, just like for example, disassembling his weapon and whatnot, or any person that's in the service that like does shit like that. You get to know your tool inside and out. And I just think it's really cool that like you can think you're the best at something the 1,000th time you do it, and it's not until like the 4,000th time that you've done it that you're like, oh, now I'm the master. And then even then, the 8,000th time. That sounds so weird to say. The 8,000th time that you do it, then you're like, oh no, now I'm the master. Like, I mean, there's this 10,000 hour rule, and it's that like, if you do something for either 10,000 hours or 10 years, whichever comes first, you are considered a master at. Like, for example, with the guitar, I started practicing when I was 17, but when I got married at 22, that drastically fell off. So while I may have been, quote unquote, playing the guitar for over 10 years, I've not put in 10,000 hours. Yeah, another thing I was thinking too was I was like sitting in this meeting the other day, and it was only like a 2-day meeting. Like, we went on like a Tuesday, and then we went again on a Wednesday or whatever. But like, there were no assigned seats, but like, the second day we went, we all sat in the same seat we sat yesterday. And, anybody who's like in college or like takes classes can relate to that, where like if you don't have assigned seats, you still sit in the same spot. I think that's pretty interesting in itself too. Oh, and then also too, Missouri lost a real one last night, so I want to say R.I.P. to that. I want to immortalize it here on YouTube. We'll go ahead and call him Double D. Um, but R.I.P. That was a hard one. He was a kind of a guy me and my coworkers were familiar with. Over around the ambulance. We had seen him several times. We were all familiar with him, and so that was kind of hard to. I got the news about that yesterday. Um, so that was obviously, like I said again, R.I.P. that guy. Um, but anyway, I hope everybody has had a great week, and we'll have a great weekend. I want to try to put like another video out. It's been a couple days. I've been like I said, playing a bunch of Tarkov, a bunch of DayZ, and just kind of relaxing. I've been kind of tired for real. Today I went to sleep at like 10 o'clock, and then I woke up at like 1, because I heard some damn raccoons on my on my roof. So they're not in my attic anymore. I've blocked them out of my attic. I put a ladder up on the side of my house, and I blocked off where they were getting in at the soffit level, I guess. Like they were going through the soffit. If you don't know what that is the perpendicular part of your roof. So you have your the side of your house, and then it will like come out horizontally, and then that's where the pitch of your roof starts. That's your soffit. That's where these damn raccoons were getting in at, and I trapped one. It was funny because I live in Kansas, and I trapped one raccoon, and then I took him over to Missouri to let his ass go. A bad part of Missouri too, Independence, baby. So we got a Kansas coon. He's over there in Missouri right now. But anyway, so I heard him on my freaking roof. So they're not in my attic, but I can hear him scratching around on my roof. So that was woke me up. And then I was like, yeah, dude, I actually have been meaning to put out a video. I was trying to get a PS3 emulator to work to no avail. And I get like troubleshooters fucking tunnel vision. Like when there's an issue or something, I feel like I have to zero in on that issue, and I can't do anything until like I've resolved that issue. So it results if I'm modding a game, which I like to do. Then it results in me sitting there and trying to figure out the issue with this game for like 4 or 5 hours. Seriously, it really kind of sucks. But anyway, I think I'm gonna cut the video here. If you want to know what game I'm playing, this is Daggerfall Unity. This is Elder Scrolls 2, but it's in the Unity engine, which is another one I've modded. I put the mods in the game. I'm not saying that like I made the fucking mod. But like, I just modded the game. It's really not that hard. I think I have like 45 mods. But if you're that interested in playing some Elder Scrolls 2 in what I would consider a very playable state, I just keep fucking up. Let's see, like I just died right there. Yeah, when you die, you have to, or at least the mode that I'm playing, when I die, I have to start all over. It's like a permadeath mode. But yeah, I could always make a video on how to play that if anybody was ever really that interested. But anyway, hope everybody has a great weekend. Here in Kansas, we're supposed to get hit with a big-ass snowstorm, so I'm going to be taking it easy inside. Anyway, be safe, everybody. Peace out.